just share it with social media. It's called what, 2020 or AP Honors or?
It's the honors 21.
It is. Do it.
Greetings, everyone. So we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. I do apologize for that. But in this pandemic year, I can think of nothing more emblematic than having technical difficulties. So on that note, thank you so much for joining us for our annual middle school, high school honors AP night. In a few moments, you'll have an opportunity to hear from some of our teacher leaders about the expectations for and benefits of participating in our honors and AP programs. After that, we will disperse into two groups. High school students and families will have the opportunity to go across the hall here to the high school gym to hear directly from some high school teachers. Middle school students and families will do the same thing, but down in the middle school cafeteria. So on that note, please welcome Mr. Gordon.
Good evening, everybody. As Mr. Ships just said, my name is Mr. Corbett, Tom Corbett. I've been teaching here 15 years. I teach advanced placement English literature and advanced placement English language in high school. So tonight is all about our purpose tonight. There are several. We want to go over our course offerings. We want to hit on the expectations we have in those honors and AP courses. And we want to, where possible, get summer assignments handed out. I'll say a word about that quickly. Most middle school teachers have their summer assignments ready. Most high school teachers do as well. However, there's going to be a variety of ways to get to you. Typically, in my classes and then in the high school classes, we will create a Google Classroom which your student joins, and then the summer assignment will be there. If you do want paper, most of us can leave a chair outside of our classrooms and put a paper copy out there for you, or if you have books to distribute too. In addition, our teachers will likely, the honors teacher will go into the previous year teacher's class, push in for 15 or 20 minutes, do a little speech, here's what you can expect next year, and hand them out as well, in cases where that's possible, which is most cases. So that's our purpose, course offerings, expectations, and summer assignments. Now, Mr. Reeve has kindly set up a live stream, so if you're texting with somebody who's watching the live stream, and you happen to hear them say something like, "We have no volume," and they text you, or "We can't see anything," please raise your hand and say, "Live stream issue," and we will try to resolve it while we're going here. As you can tell, we're already having one. The Chromebook, which was powering PowerPoint, literally just failed. Totally, Chrome OS stopped working. So that would be, Mr. Reed has a new one, and he will get that up and running in time, and we figured, why not get started here? So, first off, thank you for coming. I'm going to do a quick round of introductions of all the honors and AP teachers that we have here tonight, which is quite a few. We'll start on the left side of the room and work over. Mrs. Murphy is here. Hi, Mrs. Murphy. This is English for 7th grade.
Yeah.
7th grade. Mrs. Metzler, 8th grade. We've got Mr. Schufeld in the back, also middle school math for 7 or 8, Mr. Schufeld?
Both, 7, 8, 7.
Both, nailed it. Mrs. Doherty was our English 10 honors teacher. Then up front here, we have, I'm sorry if I'm missing any teacher, I think I got one. And up front, we have Mrs. Miner, who teaches pretty much all the accelerated Spanish courses in the high school. Mrs. Jones, who teaches advanced math, AP math. Cal, Mrs. Jones? Cal. Mrs. Boyle, who teaches AP Bio. Mrs. Giarrusso, who teaches AP Euro for seniors, as well as 9th and 10th grade AP World. Then we got Mr. Chamberlain, who teaches AP US for 11th graders. And Mr. Pisano, who teaches AP Gov for seniors. If I left anyone out, I'm real sorry. So that's one of the things we want to go over is the types of offerings we have for our students. We do have 15 plus honors courses across the spectrum, and that's primarily the high school. There are additional honors offerings in the middle school. And I know a lot of you here tonight are middle school parents, either of 7th or 8th graders, and you're getting ready to transition into 9th grade, and you're like, what's going on with this? I would also advise you if you're an 8th grader going into 9th grade to check out the orientation night for 8th graders coming into 9th grade. We do have a ton of AP courses right now, which is great. There are over 10 courses, and not specifically mentioned here today, we also have a ton of upper level college coursework that can earn you college credit the same way an AP class could primarily in 11th and 12th grade. A brief word about that. You can earn those credits through Cairo-Durham High School, which is accredited by Columbia Green, and those credits will transfer just about any place. In the SUNY system, they will transfer anywhere. We have had issues with a few private colleges not giving you the transfer credit or wanting to use it only as elective credits. Parents will understand that, kids probably won't. But you will get course credit in some way towards your college degree if you take those classes as well. Typically in a year, we have over 1,000 college credits from our graduating senior class get earned. That's a lot. So that's a big part of our program as well. So if you're here tonight and thinking, well, AP and honors are great. Well, what if I'm not totally ready for AP? There's also that option of Columbia Green college courses. We do have quite a few of those as well. All right. Hey, there you go. Everything I just said is condensed up there. I realize live stream folks, you're probably not going to see it perfectly. I hope that you can, but if you can't, I'm saying your thing, so just listen carefully. One of the big things we like to talk about up front, whether you're entering 7th or 8th grade or whether you're entering 11th grade and you're new here, are expectations for AP and honors courses as well as the college offerings. You hear this all the time. It takes resolve and hard work and effort and a partnership with these two. You hear these things a lot, but it really is true. We see as teachers, we see kids who have the best of intentions, and they come into your class and they just assume it's going to be just like it was when I was in regular class last year, Regents level. And oftentimes, if you don't up your game, you're going to get bounced back. It is hard. There is homework basically every night in an AP or an honors level course. There's reading, even if you're not, super into reading. There's reading almost every single night, every single course. So the expectation is that you come in wanting to take that bite of the apple, wanting to improve yourself, wanting to work harder so that you can get those college credits before you even leave for college. And a quick word about that, we've had students, I've had personally students, because I teach advanced placement in junior and senior year. I basically work with every salutatorian valedictorian. I work with all the kids who are front row. I'm not bragging, but those kids leave here with 30 and 40 college credits. They have an entire year off of their college experience, and that may be good financially. Of course, they want the extra year just to hang out in college, but then that maybe gets you a year closer to a master's degree. So as far as I can tell, probably the best, most important thing you can do is to come into the class ready to work hard, because you will literally save your parents or yourself. If you're like me, my parents didn't pay for my college. You will save yourself thousands of dollars. I'm not kidding, thousands and thousands of dollars. So, yeah, and it seems like the hard work has to start even earlier now, 7th grade, 8th grade. I used to do this speech to the 11th graders. Now it's all the way down. We've got to start in 7th and 8th grade with honors. So it's happening sooner, and I don't think that's necessarily bad. I think it's good to set expectations high sooner and keep them high. You're going to have to complete an application, and most, I believe we're consistent with that this year. Is there an application here at the honors this year? So you're going to have to complete an application. One thing, we generally do have, you notice on the PowerPoint, it says a contract. Those are going to be delivered in September. We're not going to do them prior this year, but those will be delivered in September. You sign a contract, it's not legally viable, but you're saying, hey, I'm in this class, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z because I know that it will benefit me, and that I do value education. And that's what you're telling us when you sign that contract is, I will do my homework on time. If my average falls into the failing rate, I'm going to have a meeting with my teacher and my principal, and I might not stay in the class. Those are things that are in the contract. I strongly urge you to read through it when you get it in September. It's nothing frightening. It's just saying, I am here to work hard. I am here to earn college credit. I am not going to get 9 months into this class and then tell you I'm skipping the exam. If you're taking an AP class, Mrs. Jerusalem, Mrs. Boyle will talk about how at the end you take an exam. So you're not gonna get 90% done with the class and tell us, I'm not doing that exam, Mr. Program, which used to happen. I would say the primary reason we do have to sign a contract, because we want to say, look, you said at the beginning of the year, you were gonna take this exam. Why don't you just take it? And your teacher knows what's best, and we're gonna be able to help you, we're gonna review with you, we hold after school review sessions. Mrs. Chairperson sometimes sleeps here at night, so there's definitely no shortage of a bill for you to get where you wanna go. And the big thing is summer assignments, I'm gonna leave that too, we have a designated speaker about that. But just know that, around the country, the AP exams do happen in early and middle May. So, and I'm sure if you have relatives in the South, those schools are out by the end of May. So we're kind of starting a step back from the rest of the country when we're starting in September, other schools are starting 2 and 3 weeks ahead. So the idea behind the summer assignment is not to waste your summer, it's to get you started early so that we can be competitive in May. That's the goal. We're gonna skip the personal commitment contract tonight, we'll get that in September. And I'll say a brief word about plagiarism because Mrs. Miner's going to finish up with honor, and a discussion about what it means to be in honors, to be in honors courses. And I'll just say, it's really easy to cheat now. Everybody knows it, it's super easy. Everybody, we're not fools. We know that there's a group chat. We know that sometimes kids divide up homework. We're not ignorant of what's going on. And so if you take that route, what you're saying is that I want the credit, but I don't want to do the work. And that's not something that we're looking for in the honors program. So there is a risk. There's actually spelled out policy for students in AP and honors in the student handbook that explains after our first incident of plagiarism, you will lose credit for that assignment and you'll be subject to being removed from the course depending on the severity. And after a second incident, you will be removed from the course. I believe for Regents level courses, it's a third infraction before you get removed from a course or sent to remedial classwork. So that is spelled out in the student handbook, and all of our teachers take it very seriously. You can't row somebody else's boat to shore. You got to do the work. You have to be the one who's in charge of what you're doing, not just in middle school and high school, in life. Okay, if you're a kid here listening tonight, you could cheat, and you might even get away with it a few times, but you can't cheat forever. I promise you, you cheat on your taxes, they're gonna find out. There's no cheating. So that's my part for the night. That was our introduction, and Mrs. Jerusalem and Mrs. Boyle are gonna come up with some. Okay, so this is Mrs. G and Mrs. Boyle. Just scroll. Can't believe the part.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the advanced placement courses that we offer here at Cairo-Durham. I think we want to just start by saying that Cairo-Durham has a long history of being incredibly gracious in allowing us to teach courses that have a really few number of students that take them. So the diversity of coursework that we offer, we think has a lot of value to our students and the class size as well.
For such a small school, I know many of you are middle school parents, and you're going to see just a minute the variety of options that are available to your child. It's just absolutely amazing and something we are very, very proud of. Okay, so I guess here we go. So we don't offer all of these every year, but if you just take a look at the list of AP courses. Now, these are all college level courses that for the most part your child will take in 11th or 12th grade. But we do have some in 9th grade and 10th grade, right? And if you just look at the list, all of these will transfer to most colleges, and many of them are required to get in some of the upper level colleges. So those of you who have students going into 7th grade or 8th grade or 9th grade, this is the goal. The goal is to take the honors courses, and they will prepare you for these AP courses. And like I said, we are so proud of this offering. So if you see up there, we have art, English, history, social sciences, math and computer science, and then mine is, of course, the most important one, biology. And we just give the kids such a options to get them really well started in life in terms of getting ready for college?
Just a note on some of the more important disciplines like social studies. But a lot of these courses do satisfy Regents requirements. So if you're taking a class, it might be an important thing to ask whether or not that might supplant otherwise just taking a Regents level class. So for instance, U.S. history taught by Mr. Chamberlain is a course that fulfills the U.S. history requirement for the Regents, and there are many others out there as well.
So just a little description here of the AP courses, and I know it's quite a bit away for some of your children, but if you just take a look, you know, it says opportunities to explore topics in depth, and more time in an active classroom required to complete assignments and projects. And I think the most important one there is we have very, very high expectations that again prepare students for college. So if you see there, critical thinking, analysis, synthesis, evidence. I know for my course, there's a lot of analyzing, doing labs, analyzing data, analyzing graphs, just really upper level, higher level thinking in the forefront all the time. And then our honors courses start to prepare students, even at the middle school level, they start to get the kids ready for these really difficult exams that they will take in May of whatever AP course they're taking. So my kids just took their AP exam as did all of the other students as well.
Yeah, so we really want students to understand that you're not entering into an AP course just to do more work. It's about the level of rigor in the work that you're doing. So is there a lot more work? Will it take you longer? In some cases, it depends on the student. But most importantly, we're pushing students to achieve a higher level of mastery of skill and content.
Right there, I guess the only thing that's really the scoring part of students, the score ranges from 1 to 5, and our goal is to get our students to 3 or above, all amazing scores. They take their exam in May, as Mr. Corbett referred to. Usually, yeah, this year's a little crazy. We've had a couple of difficulties with digital exams, and some of our kids who still haven't taken their exams are taking in June.
Yeah, so most kids are going to sit for 2 to 3, there's sometimes 3.5 hour exams. That's usually in May of their final year of the course. I teach a world course, so if your kid's coming into 9th grade, that's the only sequence that you would take from 9th and 10th grade at the AP level if they are interested in history. These are long exams, so we do try to build up endurance for students in taking this type of test, and we also do look at the scores, and I can be honest in saying that across the board, students at Cairo-Durham are very successful in our AP courses, and the vast majority do earn college credit. College credit is defined at a 3 or greater. We really strive for 4s and 5s because we know that those help students getting into more competitive universities, but certainly a lot of students that are attending community colleges or state schools, 3s are oftentimes acceptable. So we've had a good track record because we have really good students who work really hard for us.
And for some of the science courses, even a 3 will get a kid several credits, maybe 3, 4, 5, depending on what the score is on the actual exam.
Mr. Corbett spoke about this prior, so I don't have much to add to it, but we field a lot of, I'm going to say questions and sometimes complaints about summer work and summer assignments. And it is a very difficult decision, especially this year, on what type of an assignment to give, how much work to give, and then what value that will have to the student. Part of the argument that we have as teachers in giving it is exactly what Mr. Corbett said. A lot of schools are starting in August, and they run August to May, which is when the exam actually happens. We start in September, so we need a little bit more time to get caught up. So it does serve that purpose.
No, I think the summer assignments are really important just to kind of set the tone for the course and let the students know that we're going to do some more rigorous work. I know for me, I select some of the texts that we refer to throughout the year. And then for AP, it's some of the actual coursework that's a little bit easier that the students can handle by themselves.
And this year, I would say that many of us are framing assignments understanding that there may be some regression with the hybrid learning. We've all tried our best to really engage in that model this year, but we want to have an opportunity to touch base with students over the summer and make sure that we're sharpening their skills so that they are still successful come next fall. So, we'll be talking later about how you get your assignments, I suppose, and I think Ms. Minor is going to come up next and wrap it up on integrity.
So my colleagues have told you what you're getting yourself into, the rigor, the level of work that you're going to be undertaking. And my job is to describe for you what we mean by academic integrity and how we expect our students to live their academic life. Now, I could give a fire and brimstone conversation here about thou shalt not plagiarize, because that is, of course, the worst of the most heinous of academic sins. But I'd really like to talk about the positive side of what honor and integrity and what we're looking for in our students to bring to the table to enrich the learning environment for us all. I'm a language teacher, so of course I'm going to go into my wheelhouse and I'm going to talk about vocabulary and literature, because that's what I do. As a Spanish teacher, I can tell you that the word honor translates two ways in Spanish. You have el honor, which refers to one's moral fiber, what makes one's character. It is how you define a person and describe someone that you respect and that you trust, is someone who is honorable. That person lives by a strict moral compass and is disciplined. The other definition, or the other translation of honor is la honra. And la honra is all about appearances and accolades and awards and applause. And interestingly enough, the whole world of literature is filled with characters that are having conflicts of el honor, and they're grappling with how la honra will be impacted by it. So you have people who are worrying about making choices, but part of their thought process is how will they look to the rest of the world. Now, we all know the saying that honor is what you do when no one is looking. That's the bottom line. So, what motivates us in reality, however, often is the outward appearance. And when we're making our choices, when we're making our decisions, sometimes we think about, well, what will somebody else say? Or what will someone else think? Or what if somebody finds out? What rewards am I going to get for my efforts? Those are all things that we grapple with. So that was my first vocabulary word. My second vocabulary word is integrity. And integrity also has two meanings. Similar to honor, you can refer to integrity as the quality of being honest and having good moral principles. We have heroes and icons and leaders of many cultures who are all recognized for their strength and their integrity. Now, strength is an important part of that equation because, as you know, integrity is also going to be defined as wholeness and being undivided. And if something isn't strong, it can't stay together. In the nautical context, we know that if the integrity of the hull of the ship is compromised, it's going to sink. So too with character. While society is going to respect and admire a person of integrity, it's also going to test and challenge the strength of one's character. Heroes and icons and leaders whose integrity is compromised, well, they're going to sink as quickly as a torpedo ship. So you have to keep that in mind. All right, Mrs. Minor, enough with the words. What does this have to do with me sitting here tonight as a student? Well, it's very simple. Taking honors courses is not about la honra. It's not about appearances, it's not about the pecking order and the social cliques and the groups. It's not about the awards that you're going to get or the applause that we all like to hear. Taking the honors and the college and AP courses is about following an academic path with discipline and adhering to a strict moral code. And success along that path is going to take choices. Here comes my literature. I refer, of course, to my dear friend Don Quixote. And when I tell my students that I met Don Quixote in high school, they think I went to high school with him. Not quite true. He did go to high school in the 1500s, not the 20th century like me. But anyway, my dear friend Don Quixote told Sancho Panza that the greatest obstacle to success in life is indecision. Now, kids today want it all. Parents want it all for their kids. That's very natural. But the balancing act between academic responsibilities and all the other things that make for happy and healthy and well-rounded students is very tricky. Parents put pressure on their kids for good grades because that's the capital that we deal with. That's what we understand. We look at the numbers. Okay, if the number is high, things are going well. If the number is low, kids always had a 90, expect a 90. Oh, we did ridiculous with 90. We hear it all the time in the parent conferences. It's a lot of pressure for our kids because, as these people just told you, we are expecting a whole lot more than your kids have had to put forth before to get those 90s. So that's a really important thing to keep in mind. So take that in mind and realize that nobody wants to choose between all that hard work to get those grades and all the other things, the fun and the fellowship of the sports and the extracurriculars, and that independence that comes with that job and the goal of the car and all those other things. It's all part of life. Common practices today among students, as Mr. Corbin alluded to, is to attack all of these things and not make a choice, not to choose between doing this or that, but we all believe we can do it all. We're all superheroes. We believe we can do it all, and to accomplish that, instead of making those choices, we divide and conquer. You do a few of these math problems, you do a few of these math problems, we'll share. We get her done. And we lose sight of the value of the work that you're supposed to be doing, which is how you're actually learning. And the work becomes compliance rather than growth and maturity and the acquisition of knowledge. So students will divide and conquer, students will share their notes. God forbid they use Google Translate, that one really gets me. Or the big keyword, they plagiarize a paper because the time crunch happens. And it is about time. It's about time management and trying to save time. This year's blended learning model opened up another of Pandora's boxes. And that Pandora's box was focus. One of my favorite words, focus. Because rather than choosing to do one thing, to do it well, and to move on, our students were trying to multitask. They'd click into a class while they were in the car. They'd go out and walk the dog and come back, and then you'd find out that they hadn't been sitting there all this time. They were sleeping, it was a nightmare. The students really believed that they could do more than one thing at a time. And quite frankly, just the distracted driving alone terrifies me. So the thought of all of a sudden we could multitask was alarming. So honor students, you need to understand that all of these practices, which have become commonplace, they're rooted in indecision. And they're leading you to compromise your academic integrity. These patterns of behavior in the long run are going to prevent you from getting the most out of these rich opportunities. We're not expecting more of you because we hate you. We're expecting more of you because we believe in you and we want to make the most out of every minute we have with you. And taking shortcuts and cutting corners is just undermining the whole point. Getting something done without putting forth your own best effort is nothing more than compliance, and it is not going to get you what you are here tonight to get. You'll torpedo your own future. So let me go back to my friend Don Quixote to frame one last comment. Don Quixote told Sancho that one of the best feelings in life is to make an effort to be better, but not to be perfect. Honor students, my wish for you is that you embrace that message. You are in school to grow, and we're here to learn. You're here to shape your future. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Do not be afraid to make a mistake. Don't be so obsessed with grades that you give up on opportunities to learn and to challenge yourself. Take that extra course. Choose. Reflect. Get to know yourself. Explore your interests so you can find out what your passion is. Honor the commitments that you make to your learning, which are necessary for you to keep moving forward. And remember that it is only by your own choices that you will sink your ship or you will float off into the far horizon. I hope that you all finish this year strong. So we've got a couple of weeks to go. And I wish you all the best and happy sailing with integrity always.
So I do want to mention one thing, which I kind of forgot to go over. Mrs. Meyer talked about, honor and integrity. Awesome. I do want to say there is, for students, because a lot of students now are sitting there going, oh man, did I just step in here? I don't know if I do want to do this class. Well, let me give you a little bit of the carrot. Probably 7 or 8 years ago, we realized that our AP numbers were kind of dropping a little bit, and we noticed amongst our student body that there were kids who should have been taking AP that weren't. And they said, well, what am I going to take AP for? I'm not getting anything out of it. And okay, you still have the kids who are like, I like knowledge, and that was great. So we petitioned the school board, and the school board listened, and we began to put a multiplier on some of the courses as it applies to your graduation level. So, for example, you take an AP course in 9th and 10th grade, and you get an 85 both years. So I'm just throwing numbers, 85 both years. Your friend is sitting in a Regents level course and got 90s both years, and you're like, man, we're going to graduate ahead of me now. Actually, our grading policy is that an AP course gets a 1.07 multiplier. So to the people who are not so mathematic, you take that 85 and multiply it by 1.07, and you end up at a 91 and change, maybe even a 92, close to a 92. So there is an incentive here when you're sitting in the AP class to say, well, I should probably work hard because I will get that 0.07 multiplier. And kids do start thinking, probably 9th and 10th grade about where am I going to be sitting on the stage in 4 years? Where am I going to be in the top 10? Where in the top 10 am I close to salutatorian? Can I get valedictorian? They start thinking about it early, so don't. The multipliers also apply to honors and college level courses. The college level courses, we haven't talked about a lot tonight, mainly because they're for juniors and seniors. The college level courses get a 1.05 multiplier, and the honors courses get a 1.03 multiplier. So there is some benefit to sticking it out, doing the work. It's going to be a bit harder, and you may not get the 95 that you got last year, but you're gonna get some form of reward at the end. Not only that, you're gonna get the challenge of climbing a little bit steeper hill and being more satisfied at the summit. So we do want to take questions now. If you have a course-specific question for one teacher in particular, save that for when we break out. But if you have something in general, I see a hand in the back.
I was wondering, Ms. Boyle alluded to the fact that some courses are not offered every year, so I was
Correct.
wondering about that, as I have a middle schooler coming up, if I accelerate them, will there be something for them to take their senior year?
We do hope so, of course. We've been told that, times as they are, the school board will look at courses that have low enrollment and make evaluations. Typically, I think the only one that was on that list that is not offered every year, correct me if I'm wrong, this is Joan, though, I think it's only AP year-round.
It's run every year that we have enough students, so it's gone the last 4 years straight.
Okay, so we've had 4 years running, but collectively, any AP course could be on the block if the enrollment is too low. I don't know if there's a specific number, but if there's only a few kids in the course, it may be on a block to be. I don't know, but I can tell you that as long as I've been here, which is 15 years, and as long as I've been teaching AP, which is like 12, no one's ever, I don't know, they've ever cut an AP course except AP or might have been offered in an alternating year. So that's good news. But yeah, we need you to sign up, and we want you to sign up. Any other general questions before I dismiss us? Oh, if you have a question on the internet, we can't hear you. So what I want you to do is typing it in the type of chat thing, that's not gonna work right away. I want you to email your question, if you have a general one, to Mr. Moore, he's our principal, at J is in Jeremy Moore, M-O-O-R-E, and he can probably answer, and if he can't, he'll usually answer as soon as he can, and at Cairo-Durham.org. And if you have a teacher-specific question, check out the website, look up your student's teacher, and send an email right to us, or call the school, and they can patch you through our classroom. We're more than happy to field questions. I believe Mr. Schiff's 6 and 7 are going to middle school cafeteria. So if you're a parent or student, 6th and 7th grade, you're going to the middle school cafeteria, and if you're 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, well, 10, seniors, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade, go to the gym. Questions, that's up.
8th grade English will be in the middle school.
8th grade English will be in the middle school because this semester that's both 7th and 8th, so go to Mrs. Messer. And one more thing, as I said, the summer assignments will have a variety of ways of getting to you. If you don't get one tonight, that means your teacher will probably be pushing you into the previous year. Like if you're in English 9 right now and you want to know about English 10 summer assignment, Mrs. Doherty will come to Mrs. Moore's class. If you're going to go into AP Lit, I will come to Mrs. Doherty's class, and your future teacher will come to your current teacher's classroom and either distribute or just sign up for the Google Classroom. All right? All right, 6 and 7 and 8th grade English will come to school. 8, 9, 10 to the high school.
Good clicking, Mrs. Jones. Good clicking.